Do you want to know how to teach children to respect their parents? Well, I've got some great tips for you today. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach children and parents self-government skills all over the world, and I'm going to be sharing some of those self-government skills and principles in this video today. Many parents come to me and they say, Nicholeen, I want to fix the relationships in my family. In fact, I feel like that we have a respect problem in our family. My children definitely don't respect me, and I think I don't respect them. And I look at those parents and I say, you're right. Because many times we lose track of who each other really even is in the home. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to better respect our children, but also how to teach them to respect us at the same time. So let's start by quickly talking about respecting our children. Who are our children? What is the role of a child? Years ago, I started teaching parenting, and I assumed that everybody understood the roles of parents and the roles of children, that this was just common knowledge in our society. But do you know, as time has gone on, I actually have realized that there are many people who do not understand their own roles or the roles of the people that they are living with. Now, I want to be very clear when I talk about roles. I am not talking about responsibilities. Responsibilities, things like mowing a lawn or cooking a meal, anyone can do those things. That's not a role. A role is something deeper. It reaches the identity of who you are to yourself and in your relationship. So let's talk about who we are as parents so that we can help our children better understand who they are. And this foundational knowledge makes a big difference in how people respect each other in the home. There is a great book that is actually a story you can read together as a family, especially if your children are maybe 7 years old and older. And it is this book here called Roles. It's a book I wrote to help people better understand their roles, because I realized that they could use all of the parenting skills that I taught, but if they didn't understand their roles, they could still end up falling into some old habits of maybe really permissive parenting or even bully, fear-based type parenting, because they didn't understand who they were really to each other and the security that understanding their roles would bring to the entire family group. So what is the role of mother? Mother is the heart and hearthstone of the family. Mother is a nurturer. Mother is a teacher. Okay, so remember those things too. What is the role of father? Father also nurtures and teaches in his own way, but he's a protector, and there's many different ways that he protects. The truths or the untruths that he brings into his family actually can make them vulnerable or could protect them from some of the lies that are around them in society. Father helps the children decide what their priorities are going to be, especially when the children get a little bit older. Father is oftentimes referred to as provider too. This doesn't mean mom can't be a provider, but usually mom's main focus is on her children. And so she will take a job that gives her less hours or requires slightly less of her just so that she can still be there for the children for how they need her. So, and this is not a bad thing. I know a lot of people think this is a bad thing. It's not. It's what mother does because in her heart, she knows that she is the heart and hearthstone of that family and those children, especially when they're young. So if mother and father are both teachers, then they need to make sure that they honor that role and that they teach the children that that is also part of their role. The role of child is learner primarily. When they are in their childhood or adolescence, they are at a time when they are learning and growing and developing. So if they are a learner and the parents are teachers, then the way that they respect parent is by allowing the teaching to happen, and the way that parents respect child is by doing the teaching. You may not realize this, but in many cases in society right now, there are a lot of parents not wanting to do the teaching. In fact, they're going hands off when it comes to teaching the children and telling the children to pave their own path and do their own teaching. This actually abandons children. This does not bring them security. In fact, just the opposite. It promotes insecurity. The children feel very unsure about themselves, their choices, and their future because they have not had proper teaching and proper guidance. They look to the adults in their lives for leadership. And if the adults in their lives do not provide that, they start looking outside of the family and outside of those trusted adults and start looking to same age peers or to the media to lead them and guide them and teach them for their lives. We are definitely seeing a time right now in our lives where there are so many young people who are turning to sources outside of the family, outside of the people who love them more than anything else, in order to find their purpose in life, in order to find the truths that they're looking for. No one loves them more than the family. No one loves them more than their parents, hopefully. I know not every family has the perfect situation, but those parents want what's best for the children most of the time. And if the child's heart turns away from them, then the parent can't do the parenting. So parents need to respect their children by teaching them, by being there for them, by opening up communication again and again, and keeping the child involved in that dialogue about life and about truth and about principle that the child is going to need for security. It is the parent's job to make that happen. The parent should not wait for the child to come to them for every lesson that the parent's going to teach. We need to provide the teaching before they even need it. In fact, that is the most merciful way teaching can happen. In my parenting program, the Teaching Self-Government Parenting Program, which you can find more out about at teachingselfgovernment.com, I teach that one of the 5 key skills that a parent needs to develop is the skill of pre-teaching. This is a skill of planning and preparing the child for success before the moment comes when they're even going to need the skill that the parent is teaching. So how do we respect our children? By teaching them, loving them, opening conversation with them, understanding them, but making sure that we don't forget our role as teacher. Before I share my tips with you for how to help the children respect you more, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel. There are so many videos here about all kinds of things related to children respecting their parents and for better parenting too. You will not want to miss the videos that come out on this channel every single week. Subscribe now. So how do we teach the children to respect us? Well, number one thing is that we need to maintain parental authority. We need to maintain leadership. That means we remember, like I already mentioned, who the teacher is and who the learner is. But the other thing that we can do is teach them how to communicate with us. So often our children do not communicate with us well because we haven't taught them the skills and principles of communication that they need in order to be successful and get their way. One of the skills that I teach my children that truly is life-changing for them is the skill disagreeing appropriately. So in the skill disagreeing appropriately, you look at the person, you keep a calm face, voice, and body. You say that you understand the other person's point of view. You share your point of view, listen to what they have to say okay, and then drop the subject. But within this time period of seeking to understand the other person and sharing your point of view, this could open the door to a really great conversation. I also designate certain times when I'm going to have deliberate conversations with my children as well, because talking with them is so important for them to respect you. They need to feel like they're understood on a regular basis. So disagreeing appropriately helps them to feel understood. It also maintains that parental authority that you're the teacher and that they're the learner and they're appealing to you and honoring who you are in their lives and honoring who they are too, and not trying to become the adult, which would then create dysfunction. But there are these other times I designate as well. So every week we have family meeting, we have individual mentor meetings with the children. These are times where they have a voice in what's going on in the home. I also sometimes designate what I call parent counseling sessions. Parent counseling sessions are special times when I talk to the child about maybe one specific incident or issue that they happen to be working on, and we make a plan for their success. In our family, we also do family activities regularly, and as part of our mentor sessions, we designate times to have dates. Special dates that dad goes on with the child and special dates that mom goes on with the child. So this type of pre-planning for how we're going to connect together and to discuss with each other helps the child know that we truly do have their best interest in mind. In fact, we're showing them that by scheduling our life around having good, open dialogue and communication. Additionally, to increase the child's respect for parents, we need to make sure that we are parenting them the same every time. So they may need to earn negative consequences, but we need to lay out ahead of time what those things are so that we aren't just throwing things at the children, which basically just means power struggle and manipulation to their mind. If we lay out ahead of time, this is how we will solve a problem when you don't do this. Maybe you're not following instructions or you're not accepting a no answer. We will correct you in this way using these words. If you happen to go completely out of control, you're having a tantrum or you're power struggling or you're dangerous in some way, then we will handle the situation like this. Creating a plan for how you'll handle problems actually increases the security of the child. It decreases their anxiety, and they feel like they can trust what it is that you're doing. They can trust your teaching, even if they're going completely out of control and they are having a full-blown tantrum or teenage tantrum, whatever the case may be. When you use the words that you told them that you would use to solve the problems and to bring them back to a place of control and calmness, even if they don't like it, even if they don't want to be in control right then, they actually will respect that you are following through with what you said you would do. The word many people use for follow through, especially when it relates to parenting, is consistency. Parents need to be consistent, but you need to also teach ahead of time what you're going to do so that your consistency follows the principle that you live by, instead of you just being consistently out of control or consistently micromanaging your child. Make a plan and then stick to the plan and use consistency. I would like to help you with your plan and with your consistency. In the description below this video, there is a link to the Calm Parenting Toolkit. Now, this course is really valuable, but for listening to this video today, I would like to give you the Calm Parenting Toolkit for free. This toolkit will give you some of the skills you need to improve your communication with your children, to analyze yourself better, and to increase your calmness and theirs. As you go through the process of improving your calmness, you will actually be increasing your respect in them and their respect in you as well. Click on the link in the description to the Calm Parenting Toolkit, and I'll see you there.